society and given to us, and it doesn't actually make sense. And you build this alternative story, preferred story. You done any narrative therapy?
Not yet, I'm only in my first year.
Well, I mean, I come from a narrative perspective, but it works really, really well with queer issues. And if you look at the old-fashioned gay liberation, women's liberation approach to community development, it was a lot of groups I'm talking about the 1970s. They didn't talk about narrative therapy. They sat around talking about what it was to be a woman, or what it was to be a lesbian, or what it was to be a gay man, and the influences on them, and swapped stories essentially, and they had to tell their story in this context. And by telling their story became more conscious, more elaborate, more richer, and allowed them to stand taller in the identity that they were choosing as their preferred identity. This was narrative therapy before it had even been invented. The narrative therapy was a modern fancy thing, but we actually did it before the narrative therapists did it. And it's useful in the language around the more ways to do it. We've also learned some tricks from narrative therapy, like in our groups in the 70s, we'd sit around and talk about our fathers or our mothers or bullying at school or whatever, and we each get a little bit of our story. We compare that little bit of our story with that little bit of someone else's story, and we'd remember something from something that someone said that spark off a memory in us and help us elaborate our story. Well, we now know that it's sometimes good to let people tell their story as a whole, instead of doing little bit bullying, and everyone go around the room talking about bullying. It's sometimes better to have an evening or a session on one of the participants in the group, and let them tell their whole story, and ask them to make sure they remember it. So, what sort of role did your dad have in this process of you becoming aware and stuff? Did you ever get bullied? You know, some of the key questions, but the aim is that the facilitator is simply trying to get one person to tell their story, so that people can look at that story as a whole and go, oh, parts of that shit are like me, parts of it aren't. And it helps them elaborate their story. So that's what moved me in this. So you get people learning to value their story and develop it. And I only do this for young people or older people in groups. It's very, very powerful for the person telling their story, but it's also very helpful for the other people to get this vocabulary of alternative stories, which they can pick bits from. Oh, it's like me. And one important thing is always, how did you deal with homophobia in different forms? How did you deal with the heteronormative expectations of your family? You know, the nicest, most liberal friends in the world have these dreams of grandchildren and white picket fences. and those heteronormative expectations can be the nicest form of homophobia, which can be quite difficult to. So how do you deal with those? How much they are part of it? You can deal with them lots and lots of different ways. You can deal with them by saying, "Look, I've realised that children just aren't going to be part of my life, and I'm not going to have a life with my own children. I'm going to enjoy my nieces and nephews, or I'm going to run a queer youth group. I'm going to, there's some parental kind of stuff in me, but I'm not going to have my own children." Or I intend one day to perhaps buy